Good evening, happy Sunday, and welcome to this improvisational stream just to keep the Geeky Geezers slot warm for Boomer. This is Down and Dirty, and we're making it up as we go along. There's me, there's Netter, Boomer may stop by, and if he's not too exhausted from traveling, and of course, there's all of you. We'll try to cover some of the geeky news in a scattershot fashion, and I'm not making any promises, but top off your glasses, get comfortable, and strap in, because here we go. Good evening. Hey. Netter's holding us together. Netter, go mute, please. Mute. Bloopers all over the place. There were bloopers in my monologue. I screwed up the stream, had to restart it. Oh man. And over an hour and 10 minutes late. Netter and I were in a stream over on PJ Orville Nation. It was awesome. It was incredible. He had to take the stream down, but just wait. He'll put it back up, and you should go check it out. We got to hang out in the panel with the effects supervisor, the visual effects supervisor for the Orville, who's also worked on things for Bad Robot and the Hideout one that does the Star Trek one and stuff. Definitely, you'd be interested in checking that out. Wait a couple days, go check out PJ's channel.
Follow him on Twitter. His name is Brandon Fayette.
Brandon Fayette on Twitter. Yeah, I mean, because we talked about some of the pictures that he's posted from behind the scenes on the Orville and whatnot. Some really, really good stuff. And hey, let's keep our fingers crossed for a season 4, right? Something to look forward to. So tonight we are doing a quick improvisational type stream because Boomer was not going to be able to do Geeky Geezers tonight. He was on the road. He's traveling, and yet here he is. He's in the stream.
Boomer's in the house.
Are you joining us today, Boomer? Or are you away from the camera now? Yeah, he's muted, so maybe he'll. Oh, there he is.
Hello.
Okay.
Oh, well, we're all having Boomer moments tonight.
No, it's gonna be goofs. It's gonna be glyphs. It's gonna be we're kind of making this up. How was your trip, Boomer? And are you doing okay?
I'm doing fine. Traffic wasn't too bad, But yeah, I'm doing okay. Yeah.
And then you're like, are you doing a stream? You doing?
Well, no, I like I said, if you wanted to, I figured it was up in the air, and you could have taken the night off, but it's cool. We're doing a stream because there's stuff to talk about.
And I want to say hi to. I have no idea what order these go in because they may have come into the first stream that it had come down.
In the first stream, it was just me.
Oh, okay.
So in the second stream, Mananui was first.
Mananui, how you doing, my friend? Deleted Scenes, hail. David Pensack, take 2 for Papa Pacelli. Yeah, exactly. Daniel Heron, what's the happened? Yeah, well, now you know what happened. So we're up and running now. Thanks everyone for being here, and please share out the stream. I've been scrambling, as you've obviously seen.
Oh yeah, maybe I'll share it in MeWe. Let me do that.
Yeah. I did. I got it. I re-edited the
I shared it on my own channel. It's in the comments. Also, I had a thing. I don't think you can put a YouTube link in your comments, but I put it in the description. I said improv stream, and then I pointed upwards so they can see in the description. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And let me bring in one more panelist, Mr. Mastic. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you.
Good. I'm doing just well.
So I guess you've heard all that. We're just kind of going crazy, kind of going scrambling. We're making this up as we go along, and there was a couple topics that we were gonna hit tonight, and it just turns out, at least this is what Boomer told me, that you are pretty hot about a particular topic that I had wanted to talk about anyway.
Yeah.
So we figured let's get you on.
I don't know too much about it, but I was This is going to be a fun one topic to talk about.
Yep.
And
And
that
what
would
topic
be-
is that I'm alluding to?
Oh, the Zaslav coming in with a shotgun.
Right? Oh my gosh. No doubt about it, man. Let me see if I can find this was
They
this?
can't still be doing the Flash movie. I'm not buying it now.
It's either going to happen or it's going to have like so many reshoots.
I think so. Maybe it's going to be reshot. Yeah.
But there is no way they're releasing it in the way it's currently is.
Well,
That is-
we got the news. We got the news this week that Zaslav had canceled the. Well, we actually did talk about this last week. Did we talk about this last week?
I don't think it came up last week.
No,
I think
We
it happened this
talked-
week.
We talked about the fact that Ben Affleck was going to be
Yes,
in
returning
Aquaman
in
2.
Aquaman 2. That was the big story. Yeah.
But then we got the news this week that the proposed Batgirl film was not going to be happening. That they were completely axing it.
And then everything seemed to just set on fire after that.
Well, yeah, and not surprisingly, because it turns out that the articles that are coming out and words from behind the scenes and whatnot was that Zaslav is really, how did you say, taking a shotgun to the place?
He's coming in. He's coming in like they live, just like I'm here to stop doing stupid shit, and eat bubblegum.
Yeah.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Yes.
David Pensack said Zaslav comes in with an unlicensed particle accelerator on his back. No, that's about it. And so we're finding out, and I'm not going to cover it in the kind of detail that the other big channels do. Go check out Doomcock, Midnight's Edge, even Valiant Renegade. They've got some great videos about a lot of the details behind the scenes. Mr. Matchstick, you saw some of the stuff I was sharing in our DC group, so you know about some of this already. But what it basically came down to is it was very clear that the people, the powers that be over at Warner Brothers were doing the whole Kathleen Kennedy thing, going, well, I don't care what the source material says. I want to bring in the woke, and this whole storyline that we were hoping for with Batgirl that was going to bring back
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. They were going to kill off. No, see, we thought maybe Michael Keaton's coming in to do like a Batman Beyond kind of thing, older Batman.
Right.
You know, no, they were going to kill him off and have Batgirl take over. And their goal was to lead up to a new what do you call it? Holy Trinity, so to speak. They were going to replace Batfleck with this new Batgirl, this all different Batgirl, right? I'm sorry, it's not Barbara Gordon, but it's Barbara Gordon, right?
I stopped taking the movie seriously, and the first when they showed the Burnside outfit, which I hate.
Oh, yeah, a lot of
I
people
hate
like
that
the
outfit.
Burnside outfit.
So
And
much.
then a follow-up article was basically saying that they were also planning to the whole introduction of that Supergirl, that we saw from Flashpoint. Yeah, she was going to be taking over the Superman place. So it was going to be Supergirl, Batgirl, and Wonder Woman. That was going to be the new Trinity going forward. And Zaslav is like, nope.
What the fuck are you doing? I read my cough's going up.
I have a question. Test audiences saw this, correct? Was that have a lot to do with this?
Yeah, so there were test audiences that saw the Batgirl thing, and they panned the crap out of it. So that made it very easy for them to say, we're scrapping this thing.
And ever since then, I'm just hearing rumors and like articles about this thing is canceled and this thing is canceled and all that stuff.
Well, there is a lot. See, there's a lot more that goes into it than the rumors. This was something I was kind of alluding to you, behind the scenes. There's rumors and there's rumors, right? And there's stuff that has no corroboration, and you just assume, okay, this could just be easily made up. But then there's the rumors that come out and say, well, not only does that make logical sense, but we see some other things happening, and they fit too well together to not have some substance to them. And the grander picture is like, this pretty much has to be happening.
You can kind of see the signs from just for a while ago with that CNN app thing. They were trying to do that CNN app, and like Discovery was like, no.
So
not that.
I'm actually forgetting whether it was Midnight's Edge or Doomcock. I want to say it was Midnight's Edge, but apparently, what some of the behind the scenes people were saying is that one of the things Zaslav wanted to do. Well, he's already shot down the whole CNN app thing, right? He wants to completely end CNN. That's just a little bit more difficult.
Okay, for those of us who don't know, what's the CNN app thing?
They were trying to do, you guys might know better than I would. Boomer, this was some sort of a direct line CNN that you could get on your mobile devices.
It's like some. From what I figured, it was like some generic CNN streaming service.
Yeah, I think
they shot it down.
It was going to have exclusive shows on it too.
From what I heard, like I think it's either from you guys or somebody else, but like CNN was kind of seeing the writing on the wall, and they were trying to make themselves too important to cancel, and then Zaslav came.
So
like
Boomer
CNN Plus, they put a lot of money into it, and
Boomer and I had talked about this. We had read an article when it was first announced, and you're absolutely right. They put so much more money into it than it really needed to be. It was clearly a wasteful amount, going on the premise of you can't cancel us because you've already spent so much money on us. And it's very, very clear that Zaslav doesn't buy into that bullshit. He is about protecting brands.
He's just going to cancel it now with even more righteous fury.
And we see it now with the cancellation of Batgirl. Sure, the movie's almost completely finished, right? And he's ready to scrap it because he's like, this does more harm to the brand going forward than we can try to salvage from it. We're not going to salvage anything. All we're going to do is hurt ourselves going forward. And honestly, most people believe, and people are still in the industry saying, but Flashpoint's done, and they spent so much money on it. That one really is too big to scrap. I don't think so.
Yeah, I was the first one. I remember talking to you guys. I think you're a bit more hesitant on Nia, but I was like, they got to scrap it. This is gonna mess them up.
I wonder if they're planning to just redo it with a new actor. That's my suspicion, but I don't know. We'll see.
No. Well, let me get back to that point in a second, Age of Boomer. But Mr. Master, keep in mind, when I was disagreeing with you about that, I was still on that train because this was before we heard about Batgirl. Once Batgirl happened, and then we hear that they've added Batfleck to Aquaman 2.
I understand. Yes,
that immediately tells me they are retooling what they were planning to do, their whatever reboot. At this point, they won't be able to use Flashpoint anymore. None of the story elements are going to work anymore.
I think they still may be making a movie called Flashpoint, and I don't know if they're going to be able to use anything from that Flashpoint, because they didn't announce a cancellation, so I'm thinking maybe they'll just recast the Flash, and I don't know. We'll see.
They should really do what the animated movies have been doing since Apocalypse, where there's like Apocalypse, where you know what, this whole thing has been one movie universe has been one giant trash fire. So let's just give it the biggest trash fire of all as an ending, and then just reboot it, and then they would just
That's what the cartoon movies.
Just to kind of zero in on the target is Zaslav is saying, and he even said this in the earnings meeting. Go back to Valiant Renegade for his coverage of the Warner Brothers Discovery earnings call, where he referred to. He said something about our most valuable properties, and one of them was the DC, films, the superhero films.
Yeah, they're looking at Marvel, and we're like, we can have this. We can have this $1 billion property as a movie cash cow if we just treat it right.
Yeah.
And the other point that I think Valiant Renegade brought up was the fact that we've talked about this in regards to Star Wars and Chapek and stuff. Why hasn't this person been fired? Why are they still doing this? Why are we still getting this bullshit? And everyone keeps saying, well, there's stuff that's already in the pipeline and there's contracts and blah, 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 blah. I've said it too. Referring to like the Titanic, a long ship with a tiny pin, right?
And then Zaslav
isn't having it.
He doesn't care.
Zaslav is saying bullshit on all of that. Stop the damn boat.
The man is just coming in the room with a shotgun and just pumping it full until it's all dead.
I'm going to be very curious what happens with Game of Thrones with the new show. I don't know anything about it. I've heard rumors about that it's not what fans would want. I've heard rumors about the Zaslav wants to fix that, but that was a Doomcock rumor. That's another big HBO property.
So I'm not changing gears here. This is directly related.
I know. Yeah.
Netter and I, part of the reason we're so late tonight, we were over on Orville Nation talking with the VFX director for the Orville, Brandon Fayette. And he's, one of the things that came up is the fact that the 3 seasons of the Orville, which have been on Hulu up till now, are going to be moving over to Disney Plus. Of course, we're all fans of the Orville, so we're all like, season 4. Well, season 4, make sure you let Disney know you want a season 4, right? He says my biggest concern is that if we do a season 4, we're going to be up against like the Rings of Power. And everyone in the chat was like, screw the Rings of Power. Nobody's going to be watching that crap. Blah, 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 blah. Exactly. Because cream rises to the top. The Orville has done so well because they've done such a great job. And I think that Chapek knows that. Or not, well, Chapek knows it. He's not acting on it. Zaslav not only knows it, but he's acting on it. And he's saying, look, I have these people that are under contract. Screw it. I'll pay out their fucking contracts. I've got this whole film filmed already. It's going to hurt our brand. Fuck it. We're going to bury it. We paid everybody. It doesn't need to go to screen.
You take a loss now, or you even take a bigger loss later.
And that is the dollars and cents of it, right? Because you could say we lost, I don't know, $2 billion on this movie, right? Well, that's just great. How much is this franchise worth? Over 10, 20 years? It could be $50 billion. But if you kill it now, that's a whole lot more money.
He understands that the brand he doesn't want the brand getting burned.
The brand is worth more than any individual film. Even any handful of films.
I am waiting to see what happens with the comics. We don't know yet. They
talked about that too.
Yeah.
But they talked about it very obliquely. Netter?
Pausing slightly. We were talking earlier about Orville Nation. In the chat, PJ!
PJ wanted to thank us both for being... I know it was great. I was just sharing with them that when you get the stream back up, they got to go over and check it out. There is so much great insight on, the behind the scenes and the Orville and really the push for season 4. But we were using that as a counterpoint to the situation with the cancellation of Batgirl and Zaslav really buckling down and saying, we care about this brand. We need to preserve it. We need to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
We
Well,
don't.
the only thing I can say that I can regret about this is that I won't be able to see Brendan Fraser's Firefly, which that would have been fun, but
Yeah.
he's still in Doom Patrol if that's getting another season.
I don't know, man. I mean, look at it this way. I mean, everyone wanted to see what's his name, Michael Keaton back as Batman, but not if it means they're going to kill him off, and make him, into Jake Skywalker for DC Comics, But David says we didn't see the Birds of Prey fan and sure we got a sequel. Yeah, no, nobody cares about this crap. In fact, these movies lose money and they know that. And it's like, is there any value in saving a couple $1 million by putting this out, even straight to stream, if it hurts the overall brand? And a lot of people are saying no. I had dropped, and I'll go back and get it again. Copy.
Yeah,
like
this Batgirl movie. If it came out, I guarantee you, the Matt Reeves' second Batman movie will take a hit, and nobody at Warner Brothers Discovery wants that to happen because it's the biggest thing at DC right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what were they doing to try and make sure people were interested in this film? First, they get people that want to support the film because look, diversity. You're losing your diversity, so that means Warner Brothers is evil, right? When it's a character that shouldn't have been made diverse in the first place. There's so many people out there saying this is not diversity. There's a lot of great Latino characters in DC, and make fucking movies about them.
And there's a time and place for changing characters' skin color or race or gender or whatever, but you really got to do it like with a scalpel. You got to be very careful about it.
Exactly.
Spectacular Spider-Man did it perfectly. A lot of the supporting cast got their race changes. Liz Allen, she's the one. Kenny Kong, a few of the villains, but all the core cast.
My question for that is that really necessary? Are there not other characters in the DC universe that are already diverse characters?
Right.
And why don't you create some new characters? There's nothing wrong with doing that too. I dropped a link to. I just grabbed the first outlet that I saw that was sharing this. The other thing they're pushing is the fact that there was going to be an Easter egg related to the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman in this movie. Not that Michelle Pfeiffer was going to be in the movie. But it's like, what Easter egg? Like her mask sitting on a desk? She's dead or something? Who cares?
I don't know, maybe like a trophy room or something.
I don't know. All of this is just, I'm glad this happened. I am really glad.
Maybe they're married secretly or something. I don't know.
I am also very glad it happened.
And the follow-up was, there's Kevin Feige and people over at the Mouse are saying, hey, look, we'll take her. We can have her in Jedi robes, or we can, have her in a Marvel film in no time. And it's like, fine, because you're really fucking up both of those franchises. If you want to join a dying franchise, that's great.
From what the few things I've heard about the actress who's playing Batgirl, I have nothing against her. She seems like she
is beautiful. She is talented. Mm-hmm. She is not Barbara Gordon.
I have a question. If they were going to go to the trouble of bringing back Michelle Pfeiffer and having the older Batman, wouldn't a Huntress movie have made more sense?
But they weren't bringing back Michelle Pfeiffer. They were just doing an Easter egg that would imply her existence, like her mask sitting on a desk or something like that.
I like the actress, but some Latino people can get the Barbara Gordon look, but she doesn't have that look. It's the face; she doesn't have it.
And then you have the actress playing Supergirl in Flashpoint, which again, now I am 100% behind you, Matchstick. I think that film is going to be scrapped too. Mm-hmm. Everyone's pointing out she's wearing the uniform of the Injustice Supergirl. that universe.
Well, I had
And
the impression that this was like a weird alternate universe where
And
Clark Kent isn't Clark Kent; it's a female
No,
variant or something.
if
Yeah.
it is indeed the Injustice Supergirl, it was
There-
Clark and Lois's daughter.
yeah.
Oh,
And they're
okay.
just using that as an excuse to put in a female, putting a Supergirl who isn't blonde.
Right.
Because they can't have a blonde. Again,
Yeah.
they gotta,
I like my brunettes. Brunettes are hot.
yeah.
But Supergirl is unless you introduce Kara or Linda, whatever her name is, first, and have
And
Clark and Lois's daughter second. I don't really care for a brunette Supergirl.
you're exactly right. It's been the whole problem we've had with the Snyderverse going along. I've mentioned this many times before. This whole idea of the cart in front of the horse. Okay, nobody
Yeah.
cares about Supergirl's daughter when we've barely had any movies about Superman, right?
Mhm.
I mean, it's give us the characters, allow them to run their course, then go to another generation. That's fine. And if it's a daughter, that's perfectly fine. But that's something that should happen 10 movies down, not at this point.
Do you think this is trying to rein in this whole multiverse idea that DC was throwing out there, like Walter Matthau was throwing out there like a year ago? Everything's multiverse. We're gonna have different Batmans and different things, and it's
That's
all gonna be a
something-
multiverse.
That's
They're
something that they say to cover their asses because they have to accommodate all the stupid bullshit that a bunch of know-nothings are pushing
Because
for
we've
behind
had
the
three.
scenes.
Because so far we were gonna have what, 3 or maybe 4 Batmans? Batman
Yeah.
in this thing.
Mananui, I need to explain. Mananui, yes, Kara was still in Injustice, but the progression of the story.
I think it was a comic character.
yeah, it
not
was a
the video
comic
games.
character. Oh, okay, so maybe it was not related to the video game. But
I mean, they're in the same universe, but
yeah,
one doesn't show up in the other, I guess.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. The other thing too is I noticed that the costume back when we first got the image of the costume, I also pointed out that the costume looked very similar to the gender swap universe where it's Superwoman and Batwoman and Wonder Man.
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
I
they.
kid you not. I thought they were going to go with something like that.
I think they did some episode of the Spider-Man cartoon where it was like a female Peter Parker. I forgot what her name was, and everything was reversed. Like Jane Jonah Jameson was a woman and stuff, and it was.
But that was like dimension hopping. You're having a whole bunch of different Spider-Man. You're having the Spider-Man with the silver armor, the one with the Doc Ock hands. That one was just one of many.
And guys, what have I told you about this multiverse concept? The problem is you want to put everything in, so you create this multiverse, but you have no logic in your lore for why they exist and how they can exist and how time travel works and stuff. Damn it, stop the bullshit, do one thing and do it right. Get one universe right first. Then you can think about other
And for a multiverse, it should probably be laid out throughout. Like, it should be in a slow burn. You don't want to just pop in and everything is multiverse now. You do that one Flash story that crosses over with Earth 2 with Jay Garrick.
Yeah.
Then maybe you do a Crime Syndicate versus Justice League movie. Then later down on the line, at the end of the entire, once you're at your peak and you're at the grand finale, you can do Crisis on Infinite Earths and have the whole multiverse thing there in all its entirety.
Yeah, and I think Big Al kind of sums it all up. Boomer talking about making sense. Come on, what are you thinking there,
whatever.
man? That's just crazy talk. Crazy talk.
It just seems. I'm hoping what this means is. See, I don't know if this is going to improve things, but it just seems like Zaslav is trying to make things less
step in the right
confusing.
direction.
Make things less confusing. That's what I think it's trying to do.
Yes, it's a step in the right direction, and holy crap! And again, I still stand by the idea that long ship, tiny pin. It takes a long time to change a ship. Economics works that way too. The film industry still works that way. So what he's doing now might mean some financial losses for DC on film in the near future. we won't see the greater benefits of it until, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years down, when they are just blockbusters again. You know, like we felt with the Marvel Universe, and when it was in its first and second phases, right?
And by that time, the movies that are doing good right now, like Aquaman, Shazam, and Matt Reeves' Batman, they've all run their course. They have all their 3 movies or TV shows based off of it, all done and concluded, and you can go on and do the get a new universe into gear by that point.
A couple of people have pointed out that Black Adam and, by extension, Shazam have been somewhat, not somewhat, almost completely isolated from any multiple versions of DC characters. They haven't been directly tied to the Snyderverse.
There's hints, but they never expressly say it.
Exactly, and they could totally get around that. They could totally retcon out a photograph in the background. You know,
I'm interested in Shazam too, but Black Adam is like, well, I got the gut feeling that it's not going to be.
Let me tell you, Mr. Matchstick, I agree with you. I felt the same way until I heard this one thing. One of the rumors that I heard was that, and I don't think, when I say Zaslav, I don't mean him personally. I don't think he knows these characters. I don't think he's involved in the nitty-gritty. The
creative process.
The creative process. But the people that are doing this are setting up, again, totally rumor, this is what I've heard, but they're setting up Black Adam to be the big bad a la Thanos going into whatever their next stage,
like the Shazam versus, like that's what I was assuming too, that they would have a Shazam trilogy, maybe two Black Adam movies, and an end with Shazam versus Black Adam.
Yeah,
exactly. But I think they're gonna then use that as the bring everyone, in around those things, kind of the way Marvel did back in the beginning. And honestly, I think that's brilliant. I think that's. And then probably the way to go.
Aquaman may tie into it, and then Reeves can do whatever he wants to do in his corner. After it all's done, we restart. We start with Superman. We get this new universe going, and then you got the Big Seven in Justice League, and then
I'm going to throw something out, and then I'm going to quickly duck as you guys start throwing stuff at me.
Okay.
But
okay, I'm armed.
Oh yeah, I know. She's literally
Go ahead.
She really could.
For those of you who don't know, I am literally facing Troy. We are literally 5 feet apart.
Exactly. We're literally looking at each other.
I like that movie collection.
Well, and it's kind of funny because we're both seeing the exact image that we see on the screen here. So I see a little netter in front of me as she's looking at me too.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, Nanette. I don't think I've met you before.
Oh, face to face, you haven't. That's true. So there you go.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Icon or something.
Yes.
Of course, I'm seeing you as a white circle.
Yeah, that's a thing that's been happening. It happened with me in StreamYard. I find that if you try switching your image in StreamYard, it will fix it. You could try that, Mr. Matchstick. I don't know if that'll do. If not, you can just be the white.
Oh yeah, if you can change to a different picture and then back again.
You can. Yeah,
that happened to us last week. Yeah,
it's been happening on other channels too. I don't know what.
But if I can stick my foot in it right now, what I think would be a great thing for them to do would be to have Ryan Reynolds come back as Green Lantern to hand off the mantle to Jon Stewart.
Okay. No.
Well,
I don't want them to bring Jon Stewart in without there being a Hal Jordan.
Okay. Speaking of that, another. How about we get Nathan Fillion? Everybody, Nathan Fillion's a perfect Hal Jordan. He could work as a good old Hal Jordan.
Yeah,
I would,
because he could have been stationed out in space.
In all honesty, I'm not even sure they could do that if they wanted to, because I'm sure there's probably some Marvel contract going on.
I don't think so. They had the guy who played Heimdall also play Killer Croc.
Is Nathan Fillion in Marvel movies?
I think so. I think he's playing Wonder Man.
Oh,
That's
well,
what
that
I
could be
heard,
an
yeah.
issue, though. He might be too
Yeah,
busy.
but again, there have been
There's a
actors who played
clause in your
both.
contract that
Okay,
says that you.
again, there has been precedent that there is actors who have played in both Marvel and DC movies at around the same time.
I was actually more thinking about the
Okay.
busyness thing, but then
Listen
I
to me.
haven't heard anything about a Deadpool 3.
Listen.
Have you guys?
It's
Yeah,
supposed to be
so-
happening. I've heard it's in the works, which is
Well,
going to be odd because
You
I
know
don't
what
know
we
who's going to
say
release
about
it.
in the works, right?
Yeah.
Would
yeah.
that be a 20th Century Studios movie and not a Marvel Studios movie? Would that be a Marvel Studios movie they can't, because I don't see
I don't
Marvel
know.
Studios releasing an R-rated movie,
I don't know, man.
but maybe they would release it under 20th Century Pictures.
I don't
Maybe-
know, because isn't Blade coming out as an R-rated film?
I'd have no idea. Okay, so
maybe
they could
maybe
go
it'd
R
be
with
some
Blade.
joint thing. It's Marvel under 20th Century Studios.
Yeah. See, in the old days, they used to have this thing called Marvel Knights. They started that line briefly before Marvel
Yes, they
got bought
did.
up by Disney, and it was supposed to be these are the more R-rated type
Violent.
Marvel movies, violent movies. These are not like the regular Marvel movies. And I kind of also saw like the Netflix series when they were going on. That was sort of in the Marvel Knights vein. I kind of saw them as that. But then we got Disney took over the whole shebang, and I don't know if they want to do anything R-rated. I guess they could theoretically do a PG-13 Deadpool, but I don't know. But anyway,
it's been done before on some of the cartoons. It wouldn't be as good, but it's been done before.
Okay.
True.
To bring this back, though, at
Yes.
the end of Deadpool 2, there is like a horrible lampooning, not just of the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie, but also of Ryan Reynolds getting the Green Lantern script. This is my big break. Making a joke about that.
Blam, yeah.
I don't think they're going to bring back
I
Ryan
don't-
Reynolds, Hal Jordan.
probably.
I don't think
The
it's
only
gonna
character
happen.
the only actor that I bring back is Mark Strong as Sinestro.
He was good.
He was
to
perfect.
be
Casting.
fair,
And
again, I'm not blaming Ryan Reynolds for how that movie turned out. I mean,
I
maybe
would-
some
Yeah.
people liked it. I don't know.
I
but
just feel no. Well, I mean, Netter's a huge Green Lantern fan. I took her to see it. I bought her the DVD.
I got the costume.
You got the costume. That's true. It's one of those ones that, especially compared to some of the stuff that's come out since then, doesn't look as bad.
Like, is it worse than Man of Steel? But that's still canon. Is it worse than? Is that
Uh,
what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
And I mean, is it worse than The Last Jedi?
We'll just say,
yeah.
hey, look at that, Hal Jordan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
I don't think you have to have him hand off the torch. You can have two Green Lanterns.
You could have like 60 Green Lanterns.
Yes.
Well, okay. Let
You
me
can have it
rephrase that.
centered
because
on Jon Stewart, and you
when
can have
Jon
him be the main
Stewart-
character.
when
but-
Jon Stewart became a Green Lantern, right? The whole storyline was there actually were two, but Hal was so busy doing, the
Stuff out in space.
the galactic stuff that Earth wasn't being taken care of. So he, brings in, and they could totally do that.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I was suggesting it.
Another
You bring-
thing for Zazov to cancel or alter that Green Lantern TV show. Fuck it. I don't want Greg Berlanti anywhere near Green Lantern ever again.
Exactly.
Not after that.
No.
Not after the movie. Not after CW shows.
I hate to say this, Troy, I'm actually might be coming around to your line of thinking, because here's how it could work. You could have Mark Strong come back as Sinestro, and maybe Hal, there's a whole backstory about him and Sinestro and having the fight, and he's having to explain it to Jon Stewart.
Jon
If you have
Stewart,
Sinestro
yeah.
as the main villain in the movie, that you could maybe. I don't know.
I don't
That's-
know. I really don't want this to be a Beware My Power 2.0.
Okay.
Okay.
And it could
granted,
easily become a Beware My Power 2.0.
But
No.
but keep in mind what I'm getting at is if you go back and watch Green Lantern again, it wasn't that bad a film. There were two big problems with it. One,
villain.
I don't think they characterized Hal Jordan the way they should have. They made him too, frankly, Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds plays the charmish rogue, but he's not that type of
Yeah.
charmish rogue.
Exactly. He should have been more Maverick, but a little bit more.
Tom Cruise. Tom
Yeah,
Cruise could have played
more
Hal
Tom
Jordan in
Cruise,
his heyday.
Yeah.
is what he really should have been. The other problem I had, and yes, it's kind of what you were saying, Boomer, was the villain. They tried to squeeze too much into one movie.
Parallax was a both Hector Hammond and Parallax were both bad choices. It should have been like the Manhunters or Dr. Polaris at the very
Another
Earth
one
base.
of those another one of those storylines where that's something that should come up much later in his character development, and they front loaded it because this is the big story. No, you lead up to that. And but if you take that and say, well, it happened, it's done. Ever since that movie, Hal Jordan has been dealing with these big galactic things. Now he comes back because I want to be able to say, yes, now Jon Stewart's going to be our Green Lantern going forward, but Hal Jordan still was in the background and he still existed.
But
I have an idea.
But my opinion is that there was a video by this guy named Superframe, and I think he laid out the perfect way to do a Green Lantern series with Hal Jordan doing the movies, and then John and like Guy and Kyle doing a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, could you imagine Tom Cruise playing an older Hal Jordan?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if that would work.
He's my number 2 next to Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
Deleted Scenes points out, remember Green Lantern movie was written by Greg Berlanti, who's one step from Alex Kurtzman. I know that. I'm not saying put him in charge of any movies or anything like that. I'm just saying we accept that movie happened, kind of like The Incredible Hulk, right?
Greg Berlanti should just be moved over to the Discovery streaming platform instead of HBO Max, where he can do all his drama stuff and keep him the fuck away from superheroes.
I think the only thing Ryan Reynolds liked about the result of that movie is that he met his wife. That was, she was the love interest in that.
But yeah.
Troy at film.
What?
I met Troy technically at film.
Star Trek 6.
Oh, that's true. Right. That's true. Star Trek
we
6. We
talked about that on Friday.
Country.
But so yeah, that's where we are with this. We'll see where it goes. I'm very encouraged. I want to lead this into a little bit of talk about Star Wars because Doomcock's got a video out about that too that I recommend you go over. A couple videos actually.
Star Wars.
About what's going on over there and addressing what I've been complaining about for a long time. Why the fuck is Kathleen Kennedy still at Disney?
Yeah.
Why are so many people still at Disney? Why is the shit that we're getting, it's kind of okay. It's kind of non-offensive.
Well, what's the scuttlebutt on Andor right now? That's the upcoming show. I know people were complaining about the AK in the trailer, saying that they were too lazy to make a proper prop or something, but I don't know. That's just something I heard.
I think that, well, again, Andor is a stupid prequel project that nobody asked for.
It's a
about
prequel
a character,
to a prequel.
Yeah. It's a prequel to a prequel. You're absolutely right. It's about a character that we know ends up dead. Why do we care about this?
Andor is something that should be like a prequel comic, not a TV show.
Why is this happening? This was a Kathleen Kennedy decision long time ago. This is one of those things that I was talking about where you have contracts and you have things set in motion and then it's too late to stop them. And someone like Zaslav comes in and says, bullshit. I don't care that it's in the can.
He just
This
comes
will
in
never
with a
see the
shotgun.
light of day. It's done. And Kathleen Kennedy, you're fired. Get the fuck out.
Do you think that Zaslav has more power in his company than maybe Chapek has in his? Is that what's going on here? Like, was he given more reign? I mean,
There's only two options that I can see, Boomer. Either yes, maybe Chapek doesn't have that much power, enough power. He should. He's in the position that Zaslav is in. He could make these calls. That's the other possibility. He doesn't have the fucking balls. That's my assertion.
I'll say the big difference. Chapek, whatever you think about Disney, he was coming in when the company was still pretty strong. I guess it still is pretty strong as it is, but well, Lightyear notwithstanding. I think that Zaslav came in and Warner Brothers, it was like a running joke on Geeky Geezers, like they were making bad decision after bad decision,
Yep.
like the whole getting rid of Johnny Depp, from which no one liked. When that happened.
And for those of you that have been paying close attention
On any side of the political aisle, they were angry that Depp got kicked out of Fantastic Beasts. I know this.
For those of you that have been paying attention closely to our streams, to things that, by reading between the lines, things that we haven't said directly, there's certain people in the community that have been really pushing the narrative that Zaslav is, or Chapek is fixing Disney, and Kathleen Kennedy's time is numbered, and things are changing over there, and we just got to get these pipeline things out, and everything is going to be so much better. And then we get a boring season of Boba Fett, and then we get Space Vespas, and then but we're going to keep defending that because Feige, or Favreau and Filoni and whatnot, right? Well, then, I said, look, I hear what you're saying, but by the time they actually get around to fucking fixing this, people are going to be done with Star Wars. All the fans are leaving. Nobody cares about it anymore. The park isn't bringing in any money from that Destination Star Wars bullshit.
No, Galaxy's Edge.
Whatever the
Such
fuck.
a joke.
The Star Cruiser. When was the last time any of you heard anything about that Star Cruiser, by the way?
The Star Cruise Hotel? I should see if there's
Yeah.
any new recent videos on
And
that.
the last time we heard anything about it was from our community, people that are bitching about it.
I have a question. Indiana Jones 5, when is that due out?
Who the fuck knows?
But
Who
I'm
even
saying-
knows if it's ever going to make it to
My,
stream?
my point is, though, is it going to take a big disaster for some change to happen? Like, does it have
I
to be
don't
that?
know, and it shouldn't. It takes someone like Zaslav to come in
Because
and say, I'm tired of this shit, fix it.
Can people still spin? Like, the problem with streaming is I don't know half the time if you could say what is successful or not successful with streaming, because
Yes.
Okay.
You and I can't see those numbers,
I can, yes, yeah.
but the people at the studio at Disney, they know what their numbers are. They may not share that information, but they
Okay.
know, and they should be making decisions based on that. But because the public doesn't know, because investors don't know, the investors only know what they're being told by the people behind the scenes over there at Disney. They're making shit up, and they're saying my shit don't stink.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But now, as we see more and more streaming services moving to an ad-based tier, you won't have that kind of obscurity
Oh,
anymore.
no, not
because
ad-based,
if I'm
yeah.
going to invest in you, I need to see those numbers.
Well, the advertisers want to know.
Exactly. That's exactly the and I think that Warner Brothers, they are way ahead of the curve on that, because that's another thing that came out of the earnings talk is Zaslav is saying, look, we're leaving money on the table. Again, something that I've been talking about for months and months on all of our streams. We are bypassing the theaters to put it out on stream. We're not releasing DVDs. All of these other revenue streams, and they all make money. We're losing money. We are going to capitalize on everything. And the investors go, yay!
Yeah, Day and Date was a big disaster. That's, I guess, why Killer's out of there. Remember, he was the one pushing.
But hand in hand with that is, but if we are going to have something on stream, we've got to supplement it with ad-based, stream. Did you know? I did not know this until I heard it from Valiant Renegade. Valiant Renegade lays out the numbers. I mean, you talk about people bringing receipts. He brings literal receipts.
Right.
Whatever revenue Disney gets from, subscriptions to Disney Plus, they would make more if they made Disney Plus free with ads.
Yeah.
And if they decided, but we'll also have a premium level where maybe you get some stuff sooner, you'll get it without commercials and whatnot, you just make that much more money. But it's the ad-based tier that will make them more money than the premium tier. Yeah. And right now, not having that, they're losing money. Why are they willing to lose the money? Because their shit sucks, nobody likes it, and we've talked on our channel about how they're ginning up the numbers. They're giving away stuff for free. It's package deals. It's all this stuff, and the actual dollars and cents revenue is not commensurate with number of subscriptions.
Yeah, so, padding their numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Zaslav understands advertising because, of course, he ran the Discovery network of television channels, so he must have some idea behind that.
Exactly. So, honestly, I've been saying...
Kate Beck knows the parks. That was his expertise, right?
Yeah.
That was, yeah, okay.
For the longest time, I've been saying that you cannot fight the numbers. Eventually, it's just like socialism. Eventually, you run out of other people's money. By the same token, you can only continue to operate at a deficit for so long before your company goes bankrupt. And I'm sorry, guys. Anybody who comes at me saying Disney's too big to fail, I'm going to say you don't understand basic economics 101. That's like saying that that God himself couldn't sink the Titanic. Okay? Remember Enron? Okay?
Yeah.
I just had a conversation with some numbnuts over on one of Midnight's Edge's videos. I said something. I listed all the companies that were too big to fail. Was it Pan Am? And I mentioned three others. And
Goldman
I said something.
Sachs.
Goldman Sachs. And then I said General Motors. And a guy comes in and says, General Motors is still around. I said, oh, really? And then I went back and I gave the whole history of them going bankrupt, becoming a runoff company, and another company forming with the General Motors name. That's what exists today. Guys, I could create a company today called the West Indies Company, right? But that doesn't mean that the company didn't go defunct 100 years ago.
It's kind of like how when some game companies bought the Atari name to slap on. That was a thing that was happening for a little while. They bought the Atari name to slap on their games, even though Atari was defunct. Infogrames, I think that
somebody starts up Toys R Us again, which I don't know, it is or it isn't, it's not going to be the same Toys R Us.
It has to be.
Well, hopefully it would be better.
Hopefully it would be better. I would love to see Toys R Us come back in some sort of format, but even if it did, and it was awesome and it was wonderful, it wouldn't be the same Toys R Us. It would be a different company under the same name. Toys R Us did go bankrupt. It did. It ceased to exist as an entity. Same thing happened to General Motors. They even failed to get turned around after a bailout by the government.
You mean by the people? Because it was our money.
Yeah, by tax dollars, yeah. I don't believe that the government has any business ever doing that, but when they do it and it still fails, I'm sorry, General Motors that existed before 90-something is not the same General Motors. It's a different it's General Motors in name only. It's a different company.
Yeah,
all right.
That was one thing that really ticked me off when they bailed out. What was it? 2 different automotive companies. That's like, why? They're businesses. It's a cost of doing business.
It is. It's dollars and cents. If a company's going bankrupt, you don't bail it out. You let it fail. Start a new company. That's just like, how it works.
Give me money so I can pay off my house or whatever.
Survival of the fittest. But. Yeah, so I'm kind of getting off on a tangent here, but yeah, that's what's going to happen to the mouse if they don't get their shit together. And I think Warner Brothers and Sony are the two companies that are kind of showing This is how you're going to stay alive if you want to stay alive in the industry.
Well, we still have more Pixar movies coming out, right?
That's something to look forward to. I know that Valiant Renegade did a live stream today. I haven't had a chance to see it. I'll catch
All
up
right.
on that tomorrow, but he's talking about some of those things. That'll be kind of interesting. I'll tell you, I know not everybody finds these dollars and cents type talks to be interesting. I'm just one of those weird nerds that does, and that's why I follow Valiant Renegade so closely, because he breaks it down. He talks. He doesn't. I mean, he shares a lot of our sentiments about opinions and the woke and what's good and what's not. But he puts all that aside and says, "Look, I don't care. What you think about it. This is what the dollars are telling us, and this is not sustainable. This is what will happen because that's just how finance works." So anyway, getting back to Star Wars, though, I think Star Wars, I've been saying this for a long time, and one of the YouTubers, whose name I won't mention, got real bent out of shape at me saying this, saying, "What happened to you? When did you become black-pilled?" And I'm like, I'm not black-pilled. I'm still very hopeful. I still believe that Star Wars can be turned around. But I don't see Chapek doing it. We keep running interference for him. We keep saying that he's going to, and he's not. He's just not. You can tell me what he's gonna do. You can tell me about 4D chess. You can talk all this shit, but until it actually happens, it's a fantasy.
What has Doomcock been saying lately? Hasn't he basically given up or something? Was it
Pretty much? Yeah, he's
he
well, he's the one that broke the story that Warner Brothers is apparently trying to woo Favreau over there.
Yeah, if they lose Favreau, that's a problem. But doesn't he have a contract over there at Lucasfilm? Doesn't he have to fulfill that contract?
He can be bought out of it. He can
Really?
be bought out of it. And how long is that contract for? Because Chapek said he was going to go to 2-year contracts for everybody.
Do you think
So if that's
maybe
the case,
yeah.
Favreau just gets to his contract and says, "Look, either I'm in charge or I'm not. Either
'Cause
Kathleen Kennedy goes or I go."
The idea that I originally had, this is what I always assumed. I assumed Kathleen was in charge of the movie production, but he was going to be in charge of all the television,
Yep,
side
that
of things.
turns out
maybe,
to not be the
maybe
case.
Filoni helping him out, and then
Because now it sounds like the Space Vespas and some of the other changes that happened in
that
Book of
happened
Boba
when
Fett
he wasn't
were
around
all
on set.
directly because Kathleen Kennedy got her nose directly involved after the Luke Skywalker in the Mandalorian thing. She had not been paying attention. That's the only reason she wasn't involved in the TV shows.
I know
When they
Miss-
got her attention, she's like, "Oh, really?" And then she came over and she started dictating what she wanted to see happen.
I suspect the Gina Carano thing happened maybe because of something like that. Because I think
A lot of that did.
I think she was basically the big star, like run out star, and they were looking for reasons to get rid of the stars of these shows.
Honestly,
I
will
knew
tell
that
you-
Pedro Pascal was going to be leaving anyway after season 3,
Yeah, and
so
I'll
he was
I'll
going to be
tell
done
you,
with it anyway.
I'll
So they didn't
tell
have
you
to worry
this
about
right
him.
now: if they lose Favreau, it's over for Star Wars. There is no hope. There's none. It's at the risk of getting political, it's like you keep losing good cops. Eventually, it's all over for your cities as far as law enforcement goes. Well, it's the same thing here. What were you going to say, Mr. Matchstick?
Imagine Favreau heading up the DC stuff.
I have been, especially after
you know-
what I've been hearing over there.
Which Zaslav bringing in Favreau to head up. Imagine Favreau doing Superman. Oh,
Yeah.
Look,
Sexy
I've been
right
saying
there.
all along, it was not Kevin Feige who created the Marvel Universe we loved. It was Favreau. And Feige took over, and then look what we ended up with.
Well, you had the brothers team for a bit too. I know they were, but are they leaving MCU now too? Why is
Who
my head
knows?
spinning?
Who the fuck knows what's going on over at the Mouse anymore? It's fucking ridiculous. So this YouTuber kind of considers me persona non grata, calling me a black pill, and then goes out and does a video just the other day expressing all the same things. And I left a comment. I'm like, this sounds familiar. Why was it bullshit when I said it, but it's okay for you to say it now? You know, it's fucking ridiculous. I mean, some people need to get their heads out of their asses. I mean, and look, it's true. At one time, I was really carrying the banner for Chapek, but there eventually comes a point where you got to say, reality is not matching up with this fantasy. It's a bunch of bullshit.
So we have to see more action. Maybe we will, but
Yeah.
I know it just seems like Zaslav was going in there with a as a matchstick set of shotguns. So
So as far as DC goes, I'm gonna say this is the last thing I'm gonna say about it. We'll move on to something else. But
yeah, I have a topic if you want to. If I can
Yeah.
interject. Okay.
DC, who knows? It may be turning around. Okay, can't speak to the. That was something that I was that came up earlier. What's going on with the comics? That was another thing that came out of the earnings report. They addressed the comics, but they did it very obliquely, so I can't really give a definitive answer on that. They acknowledge that the comic characters are important and the cornerstone of their brand, but they're looking at a more holistic view of these characters, and we don't know if that means they're going to be integrating TV and movie and streaming and comic books and all this stuff, or if they're going to tell their stories in movie format and not be worried so much about the comics. It's not clear, so I can't really answer that. What I will say is you hope for the best but prepare for the worst. It looks like things are going to start turning around over at DC, but we don't know what that's going to look like. We don't know what the roadmap is going forward. I am a little bit interested to see what it looks like going forward. We'll see. In the meantime, I would encourage you to subscribe to Mr. Matchstick's channel. Mr. Matchstick, can you drop your link into the...
I can do it.
Yeah. Because Tuesday night we'll be over on Aged Boomer and I will be over on Mr. Matchstick's channel. Again, Matchstick, I'm really sorry about last week.
It's fine.
The 30th anniversary and all, and
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Blame it on me. 30-year
No.
anniversary superseded anything
I
else.
honestly can't blame it on Netter because our anniversary was on Wednesday, and I thought our plans were on Wednesday, and she goes, no, we're going on Tuesday, and I've already paid for the tickets, and I'm like, Matchstick, I can't. So
All I gotta say to that is happy anniversary.
Thanks, buddy.
you.
So
You
this
would have appreciated what they did on the Tuesday though. They did an Arkham Asylum.
we went to Arkham Asylum. We got a tour of Arkham, but the Riddler escaped and locked us in, and we had to solve his riddles to get out. We didn't solve all of his riddles. We got blown up. We're dead.
Yeah, we only got 60% of the puzzle room done, but we had so
Yeah,
much fun.
it was a lot of fun. I'll tell you more about that maybe on Tuesday. And this is what
This
I'm getting
Tuesday.
at, guys. This Tuesday on Mr. Magic's channel. Link just now dropped by Netter. Subscribe.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, subscribe and come over on Tuesday where Mr.
Talk
Magic
about-
and Agent Boomer and I will be talking about
Legion of
Superheroes.
Superheroes Season 1. Yes.
Season 1. Yes.
You know they're making a. I know they're doing a lot with the Legion Superhero recently. I know they're making an animated movie.
Oh.
Any relation to what we watched?
No, this was back in 2006.
Oh.
Okay.
So is this in line with the new line of DC animated
Um,
movies, or is it something separate?
I think so. I think it is.
Okay.
I know that they're doing a Justice League movie as well called War World.
Oh, that'll be interesting. I like.
Yeah,
that.
they're doing a Elseworlds Batman movie where he fights Lovecraftian monsters.
Oh, that's
Cool.
neat.
We will be, like I said, on Tuesday we'll be talking specifically about Season 1 of Legion of the Superheroes, but going forward we'll be talking about some other DC animated, what would you call them, animated features?
Animated
Yes.
movies.
Yes.
Animated movies, yeah. Most of which I actually already had in my collection, and those that I didn't have, I'm adding to my collection because own physical media.
Own
Yeah.
physical media.
Okay,
And-
after Legion of Superheroes season 1, we'll be doing these movies in threes. It'll be Superman, Man of Tomorrow, Batman Under the Red Hood, and Justice League Crisis on Two Earths for the first 3 after Legion of
good.
Superheroes season 1. And then we'll be doing season 2, and then we'll be doing Wonder Woman 2009, I think it was 2009,
Yes.
Green Lantern First Flight, and Justice League The New Frontier.
Yeah, those are good choices for threes because I think they all kind of go together in those threes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what boggles my mind is the Wonder Woman feature. I know we saw it, and I'm like, why is this not in my collection? How could we have seen it and not own it? So I can't
Okay.
remember where we saw it, but
Was it on Cartoon Network or something? Or
maybe, I don't know, something.
Maybe Stan. You saw it at his place.
Oh,
or something?
we might have seen it with Stan. Yeah.
that had Nathan
I s-
Fillion in it as
Nathan Fillion. Yeah.
You know, I never gave a crap about Steve Trevor before that movie.
yeah,
And I was like, every line of his was gold, and you have Nathan Fillion voicing it. It was like, shit. Steve Trevor became my least favorite to my favorite part of Wonder Woman.
there's
in this
some
movie.
lines in that you couldn't get away with some of those lines today.
Oh, that movie! You couldn't get a lot of that movie away today. That was it.
Yeah.
I watched the movie a few weeks ago for the first time, and I was amazed at the stuff they were saying.
Guys, I want to real quick say hi to Zakarot315. Thanks for being here. And Deleted Scenes dropped a link so that you can subscribe to his channel.
Actually, I want to say thank you to Deleted Scenes because he's been dropping everyone's link, and I super appreciate
He is the. I wish there was a way to give out a golden wrench. You know, you guys got blue wrenches so you can drop your stream, your links and whatnot. But Deleted Scenes is like the cheerleader on every chat that he's in. He's dropping links and doing all the rah-rahs.
Yeah, he
Mr.
got to be faster than me, so I just let
He
him
is
go.
fast. He is fast. I don't know how he does it. Mr. Matchstick, did you read any of the Wonder Woman the George Perez Marv Wolfman run in the I think it was late 80s?
My friend has been getting on me for that for a while now, and it's good. I'll get it, but I'm getting it all in physical. And right now I'm working on Superman by John Burns right now, and I'll get to Wonder Woman after that.
You know what? That's probably the good order to do it in too, Matchstick, because first John Byrne introduced, his Man of Steel and whatnot. Are you getting some kind of like what do you call it, like omnibus or something like that?
They're deluxe editions. So there's
Okay.
I know there's 4 that contains all 4 volumes for all of the John Burns.
Yeah.
Then for George Perez, it comes in 6 volumes.
I still have all of the originals. Just for those that don't know, after in the real world, in the real DC world, going back to the Silver Age, there was the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Forget that bullshit from the TV shows. Forget any other Crisis on Infinite Earths.
With Batwoman and all that, and just
all that bullshit. Yeah. In the comics, they had a multiverse that became a little bit unwieldy. So what they wanted to do was have this big crisis that was going to wipe out all of the universes until they had just 5 main universes and then combine them. Okay? And they were trying to, wind up the tattered ends of the tapestry. And when they did that, they took the opportunity to reboot some of their characters, starting with Superman. So everybody likes to point out when, Zack Snyder has him do the head snap. Well, Superman used to kill people back in the Golden Age. That was a completely fucking different Superman, okay? There was the Golden Age Superman. Then there was the Silver Age.
There wasn't even the Golden Age. Like the Golden Age, it was for like the first bit. And then, like in the 50s, they started changing it.
Yeah, back in the 30s, he couldn't fly. He could just jump. He had the black ass. He had these circus performer type shoes that he wore. And and that was
Robin.
Yeah, kind of like Robin. And they that was all during the World War II era, right? Then what?
I just had an image of Superman taking Lex Luthor and pitching him into the sun, because like after
He did
the
stuff
first
like
offense,
that.
the first offense.
In the 30s and 40s, yeah, he did stuff like that. Netter even pointed out there was an episode of the George Reeve Superman where these two criminals found out his secret identity. He took them to the top of a mountain in the Himalayas and left them there to die, literally.
Yeah.
You know, and you could say, well, they probably climbed down and they survived. No, it showed them trying to climb down and falling to their death. So Superman literally killed these guys in the George Reeve era. So
Technically not.
well,
It was the element that killed him.
I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you.
you know,
I know.
That was
But then
Yeah.
the Silver Age Superman introduced all kinds of crazy, silly stuff. Multicolored kryptonite. You know, the last son of Krypton had a Kryptonian dog and cousin, and you know there was this whole city in a bottle that had all other Kryptonians and Phantom Zone villains. And so, for considering he was supposed to be the last survivor of Krypton, there was a good 1,000 other Kryptonians out there. Well, John Byrne's like, you know what? Let's reboot this. But when they rebooted it, they did it in such a way that Superman remained the cornerstone of the DC universe. So everything had to be changed around him.
Is that where they were going with him as the last son of Krypton?
Yeah.
That carried over into the animated series, and they ran into problems when they wanted to bring Supergirl into it. So they had her be Argo was a colony of Krypton, and she was the last survivor of that colony.
And then
she
you
was
had
still Kryptonian heritage, but she wasn't from Krypton.
Yeah. And then you have all the Phantom Zone villains. They're just too juicy to pass up. So let's just use this discount General Zod called Jax.
A lot of people agree that John Byrne just
Yeah.
cut a little too deep. He went a little too far. It made sense. He also eliminated the idea of there being kryptonite all over the place, so that every jackbooted thug was carrying a rock around to prevent Superman from stopping him. There was one piece of kryptonite, and it was stuck to his ship. When he landed, that piece of kryptonite was on his ship. Lex Luthor managed to get a hold of it, and he used it.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Alexa, I don't care. Shut up.
Oh,
He took a piece of it and put it into a ring, so he was always protected from Superman. And then he put the rest of it into Metallo. And Metallo.
Oh, yeah.
No, I remember they killed off Metallo when I was reading it.
I'm sorry, it's the other way around. My apologies. Okay. The scientists that made Metallo got the rock and put it into Lex Luthor took the rock and put it into his ring. That's what happened.
Which was also cutting a little bit too deep, because Metallo was a great villain, and Lex Luthor was a great villain, and you gotta have the two at the best. You can he should have went with just twos instead of ones right there. Two Kryptonian heroes, two Kryptonites.
Yeah.
Das Wolfen is absolutely right. Silver Age Superman could shoot mini Supermen out of his body. There was a story.
No.
Yes, it was. But Silver Age was fucking weird in general.
We complain up and down about Superman 2 and the cellophane S that he rips off. But if you look at the comics, there was all kinds of weird shit. Look,
I cut that slack, and I like the fact that some of that weird stuff showed up.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. It's a lot of fun to go back and look at. A channel that you could follow for a lot of this crazy stuff is Sasha over on Casually Comics. Right. She goes back and she grabs these issues and she'll show these covers, and the covers aren't always. They're like real sensationalistic, and then the story inside is like almost nothing like it. And sometimes it's pretty spot on. Like the story where Superman puts Aquaman and Jimmy Olsen into a death struggle, and whoever survives gets to be the king of Atlantis, and he's literally going to let one of them die. It's the Silver Age was a crazy old frickin' time. But
and we discovered that Lois Lane just always wants to get married.
She'll marry anybody. She'll just marry anybody.
If I can't have Superman, I'll marry this alien.
I'll marry this
guy,
alien or this
guy.
robot or Lex Luthor or, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, that's pretty messed up, Lex Luthor. Though it's funny, they
Oh.
did establish on the animated series that they used to date before Clark shows up to Metropolis. That there's this, you know, that apparently she and Lex dated for a little bit, but she
And
broke it
John
off.
Byrne kind of hits on
Yeah,
that a little
yeah.
bit too. That's actually where that came
That goes
from.
back to Superman and Lois. Wasn't there a sort of a relationship between her and Luthor for a little bit?
Everything that you saw in Superman and Lois came directly from
Lois
the
and
comic
Clark,
books
Lois
at
and
the
Clark,
time.
Lois and Clark, Lois and Clark, not Superman.
What did I say?
You said Superman and Lois.
No, I said
Oh, yeah,
Superman
yeah.
and Lois, but
I'm
Lois
sorry.
and Clark's would have been.
Lois and Clark,
What?
everything that you saw
What?
there, right down to the wedding, all of that came from the John Byrne comic book. And that's what was contemporary at the time. There was an awesome synergy between the comics and that show at the time. It was brilliant.
One sec. Hi, Healy Chow.
Yep. And Das Wolfen, how you doing, my friend? It's good to see you guys. And again, deleted scenes, thank you for dropping the links like crazy. But yeah, those you're gonna enjoy those stories. And like I said, stick to the John Byrne stuff first, and then move over to the Wonder Woman. It's very, very interesting stuff. That was another one. Wonder Woman got killed off in the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and that gave them the opportunity to kind of recreate her, so to speak. And,
They keep wanting
they did
to
it well.
mess with Wonder Woman. I don't know what the point.
They mess with, like, the only person who has a consistent origin in Wonder Woman is Cassandra Sandsmark, being the daughter of Zeus. Donna Troy and Wonder Woman are messed up.
Wonder Woman can't even hold a candle to how messed up Donna Troy's history is. That's just
In my opinion, it should be like this, and there just going to be a mandate for the next 25 years to be like this. So Wonder Woman was made from clay. Donna Troy was rescued by Wonder Woman.
Yep.
And then Cassandra Sandsmark should be the daughter of Zeus.
Yep.
So
And I would not be opposed to there being another younger sister back on Paradise Island named Drusilla. Just saying. I want there to be a Drusilla Wonder Girl that stops in every now and again, preferably played by a young Deborah Winger.
I don't know who Drusilla is.
I am making a reference to the Linda Carter Wonder Woman TV
Wonder
series.
Girl, right?
Okay. Maybe you make Donna's middle name Drusilla.
I like how you think, Mr.
Or
Manson.
maybe
That's
she
good
didn't
stuff.
like the name Drusilla, and I go by Donna. Like that could be.
It would go by Drusilla.
And the fact is that, like I said, I think John Byrne did cut a little too deep, but at the same time, he got rid of a bunch of stupidity that needed to stay gone.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they brought all that stuff back again.
But he also paved the way for great stuff like the animated series, which is like that, but even more refined.
Right.
They cut in a lot of the stuff that should have been kept in.
Das Wolfen, I really recommend you go back and listen to the beginning of our stream. We this whole conversation started with us saying
Yeah,
that it
talking
really
for an
looks like
hour,
Zaslav is saving DC more than he is hurting it. He understands the value of the IP, even if he's not a creative himself who understands the nitty gritty and what really needs to happen.
If he's a good producer guy, he should know who to hire when doing great stuff.
I don't know these comics. You know these comics. Make these comics.
Yeah.
Get Bruce Timm. Get Bruce Timm. He's like get Bruce. Get Bruce Timm and like Chris Palmer and like, okay, Bruce and Chris, we want you to do live action movies like you did the animated. But Bruce, stay away from Barbara.
Yeah, stay away from Barbara.
Matanui makes a great point. It's not the point that I think a lot of people hear when they say this. He says specifically Superman was a walking deus ex machina during the Silver Age. And Matanui is right. In the Silver Age, Superman could travel through time, he could move planets out of orbit, he could travel to the other side of the galaxy, he could do just about anything. And the only thing that could stop him was kryptonite, and they even had a storyline in the comics where he destroyed all kryptonite. So it was like, what the heck, man?
Oh, I hear
What?
something in the background.
Oh, I'm playing a video game.
Well, mute it.
Yeah, mute the damn thing, man.
Okay.
Well, we're not
But-
interesting enough for you.
Yeah, right. But
Listen, you do it
Multitasking.
silent like I do on these streams. Oh wait, I didn't say that. No,
these
no.
smart asses. That's why I'm on
I
camera.
never-
You know I'm focused on you guys. Fuck you. No.
Oh, God, be good.
It's my stream. I can do that. The Catman, a.k.a. Dee Dee Myers. How are you doing?
Hi,
Long time no see. Good to see you. He says, hello,
Okay.
everybody. Hope you all enjoying your weekend. I love, just as an old friend comes in, I'm flipping off the camera. Hope you and Netter had a great and fun anniversary. Thank you so much. I super appreciate that.
I have
But-
a. Oh, go ahead. I have
were
a
you gonna
topic at some point, but
Okay, yeah. Let me
you can
just
finish
just
doing
wrap
your
this
thing.
up.
Finish doing your thing.
But I do think that John Byrne rebooted it in such a way that did he depower Superman a little bit, but he's still ridiculously powerful. He's still probably the most powerful hero in DC. But here's the thing: he refocused the story on Clark, right? And this is what we've always said. What makes Superman an awesome character and a hero is not the super part. It's the man part, right? It's the fact that he has the powers of a god, but he uses them with the humility of, frankly, of a saint, right? All these things that he could do and doesn't do, right? Because he knows, it's not right. Guys, if you're not watching the Orville, you're missing out. But we just watched. They covered that whole Star Trek-ish type storyline about the Prime Directive, right? How we can't just go in and do things because we'll make them worse,
Right.
potentially. Superman, even had a storyline. It was called, I think it was called Peace. And his whole idea was he was going to, for one day, he was going to use his superpowers to feed the world. And he was going to make sure that everyone in the world got fed. Not only did it take him all day to do, because even as Superman, he has his limitations, but he ran into all of the political problems
Yes.
that came with that. Like despotic governments that said, fine, you can feed them today, but you have no jurisdiction here. And in order to maintain our power, if we can't control the food, then we'll control the population. And they killed, a whole bunch of people. And Superman can't stop everything, so, he realized, yeah, there's certain things that even Superman can't do no matter how powerful he is, unless he's going to become dictator of the world.
And then that's injustice. And then another Superman from another universe will come in and be brought in and be like, okay, I got to beat your ass and send you into a Phantom Zone.
Exactly. So John Byrne did this great job of making Clark into what he really is, a humble boy from Smallville, and it doesn't matter that I'm an alien. It doesn't matter that I'm adopted. Ma and Pa Kent are my parents. They taught me right from wrong. They taught me to control my powers, that I'm no better than anyone else just because I have, special powers. And this is the same Superman who takes the one piece of kryptonite that he gets from Lex Luthor and gives it to Batman and says no one should be completely unchecked no matter how powerful they are. And I trust you with this limiting factor, But let's go ahead and pivot, Boomer.
Well, I just wanted to make a point that also reminded me of a scene on Batman the Animated Series. It was an episode where he lost his memory and he was having dreams because he ended up on a. He not only lost his memory, but he was like stuck mining gold in this place, okay, with a bunch of other homeless men that got kidnapped. And he's having dreams, and the dreams are telling him who Bruce Wayne is, but he's not getting his memory back, but he sees an image of himself in the fine suit walking around the street, and a homeless gentleman comes up and he gives him $1. Another homeless person comes up, and then suddenly he's surrounded by homeless people and he has no money left, and then he starts crying because I think that's him saying he wants to save everybody, but he can't. It's too much for one man, and I think
that's
that was
great stuff, right?
Yeah,
I love that. I love when you want to tell a great hero story. You do the story where the hero loses his powers or abilities, or in Bruce Wayne's, he loses his memory and his money, right?
Yeah.
And,
basically what happens in the episode. Yeah.
And you realize this guy is a hero even though he can't do those things. And they've done that with Superman too, where even without his powers, he's going to put his life on the line to help people because that's just who he is, right?
You know, there's a scene. It's not exactly Superman, but it was a Ben Affleck movie where he was playing the guy who plays Superman.
Yes, George Reeves. Yes.
Yeah, where a kid comes up to him with a gun, and then Ben Affleck as George Reeves goes like, "Kid, you don't want to fire that gun to test if I'm super invulnerable because the bullet will bounce off me and hit the crowd."
Could hit
now,
somebody.
Can you put your gun? Yeah, you can endanger other people. Now, can you put the gun down, please? Which was that is also a very that feels like what Clark would do if he didn't have his powers.
Apparently, that happened to George Reeves. That actually is a true.
No, it didn't.
It
is
it?
Legend. No,
it's an urban legend.
Yeah,
I thought it happened. Okay,
it didn't happen. They dramatized it in the movie, but unfortunately, it's one of those things you want to believe it really happened, but it didn't. Makes for great TV, or it makes for a great film, but
look,
it didn't really.
Deleted scenes. I am 2 subs away from 100. Again, help me out. Make my goal tonight.
Anyone
subscribe to Deleted Scenes.
I'm going to say this. Whether you think that you're subscribed to Deleted Scenes or not, could you please go and check?
That's a good point.
Because it's entirely possible you believe that you are subscribed to him and YouTube has removed that subscription.
Yeah, I've lost 8 subs.
It's happened a bunch of times. I've had other YouTubers say, I subscribed to you yesterday, and then today I saw I wasn't subscribed anymore. Because YouTube does its thing. So go double check.
And what you need to do is when you go and sub to somebody, watch some of their any of their vids so that YouTube knows you're not a bot. What I do is I'll open up a new tab, I'll sub to it, and then I'll just hit play all. And then this way, not only do they get the sub, they get the watch hours.
Yeah, that definitely helps. But
okay, I am subscribed. Okay, just make
sure. Superman, as a kid, my favorite was always Robin, which meant that as carried over that I grew into more liking Nightwing, and I like Batman over but Batman was my number 2. But as I got older, I'm like, I kind of respect Superman a lot more than Batman, even though Batman it's very cool, but Superman's more up there than Batman is these days.
Change. I mean, with Marvel, I was always about the Hulk, but now I think I've changed over to Iron Man recently. But I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to bring up a topic: Rings of Power.
Oh, okay. Let's go on that little rant now.
Okay. Well, I'm not going on a rant. Here's my.
Oh, rant. I will. Don't worry. It'll become a rant.
Here's what I'm trying to say. Listen to what I have to say. We haven't been talking about it too much on Geeky Geezers because the last story I did on it was when I found out that this isn't even based on the Silmarillion. Silmarillion, the thing you can't pronounce. Yes, okay, that I can't pronounce.
I can.
Well, good for you. Anyway,
Silmarillion.
It's based on the appendices of just the original Lord of the Rings thing, and I said, okay, so they're going to be making shit up. That's what I thought, and I said this whole thing's going to be a hoax. And here's what I don't understand. The Lord of the Rings is not like Superman or Star Wars or the Marvel stuff, whereas those have an ever-expanding canon by various writers.
Sure.
I get it.
They have multiple universes, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings is a story. It has beginning, middle, and ending.
Beginning, middle, and end. It's a standalone book, or books if you count them as 3 volumes. And that's it. That's the story that Tolkien wrote, and it's over, and nothing can interfere with that. no Amazon series is going to destroy. If I see a bad Sherlock Holmes movie, it doesn't destroy Sherlock Holmes the character. Or those
Boomer,
original
excuse me.
Conan Doyles.
May I interject something?
Yes.
Fuck you, Wheel of Time show. Fuck
Right.
you.
Well, that's another can of worms. But here's what I want to say.
It is the exact same thing as Rings of Power.
Except
exact
that
same.
Okay, well, it's slightly different in that Wheel of Time, while we may not like it as a bad adaptation of the books, which I haven't read, so I can't speak for that personally.
I can speak for it.
This isn't based on anything. It's not based on
true.
Fellowship, Two Towers, or Return of the King, which is what I thought it was going to be. It's based on appendices telling a backstory that I don't think there's enough meat on the bones to make a series out of, which means they're going to be making stuff up. And let's be honest here. There's the original Lord of the Rings books, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I? I think it's arguably worse with Wheel of Time because they are just making shit up, and they already have a source material that's already finished.
Yes. That's different. I'll admit that's more along the lines of something like Game of Thrones, where that was being adapted from a book series. I know Wheel of Time did get finished, I believe, though it wasn't finished by the original author, right?
Yeah, the author passed before. They got Brandon Sanderson to finish it.
But the thing is this: it's annoying when you have a work that you like. But even in the case of Lord of the Rings, now granted, I know there are some fans of Lord of the Rings books that didn't care for the Peter Jackson movies. That's fine, but I think a lot of people did, and I think they were a lot better than what we could have gotten, regardless. And I'm looking at this Rings of Power series, and I'm thinking, this isn't canon anywhere. This isn't related to the New Line movies. I think that's another point that people don't understand. Now, those Hobbit movies are, which they're their own problem, but some people still like those, but that's fine. But it's not related to even the New Line series, so it's not part of even the New Line movies continuity. It just strikes me as a Lord of the Rings fan fiction being thrown up on Amazon. And I think the best scenario is to just ignore it and to treat it like someone writing a fanfic online about Lord of the Rings. That's what it feels like to me. Lord of the Rings will always be this great piece of literature, and I know it's annoying when you get an adaptation. Like if we'd gotten very bad adaptations of the Lord of the Rings books and those Peter Jackson movies, I would have been annoyed at the time. What are you doing?
I'm singing the song from The Hobbit, the old Rankin Bass.
I prefer the Rankin Bass version to the Peter Jackson trilogy. To be in defense of Peter Jackson, they didn't give him enough prep time. I think that did hurt it. They gave him half the prep time, which I think did hurt it.
They gave him half the prep time for 3 times the movies.
Boom! 100 subscriptions. There you go. Deleted scenes.
Ah!
I just shared it out on all of my.
Social medias too. Yeah. Speaking of, I only have 38 subscribers. I'm going to subscribe to my channel too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Feel free to subscribe. We will be on with Mr. Matchstick this Tuesday, so you definitely want to tune in for that. And he's got other stuff on there too sometimes. But yeah, definitely check out Mr. Matchstick's channel. You're growing though; it's getting there. Trust me,
It's going slow.
Yeah, sometimes it goes slow. Like
I'm at 146. I need 4 more to make 150.
Make 150. Everybody subscribe. Actually, and I have to say, Deleted Scenes, it's always good that you're always posting the links.
And now that we got Deleted Scenes to 100, Deleted Scenes will be able to go into his settings
and change his long
and he can
YouTube
change your channel name to Deleted Scenes.
Question for you. Okay, so anyway, my point is this. Just like, I don't want to say just like, you can do it on your channel is what you want, but I honestly think that maybe if we just... Do you think this Lord of the Rings show will be successful? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Maybe we're better off just ignoring it and treating it like the joke that it is. What do you think? I'm not getting in a tizzy about this because I figure you have the books and you actually have some decent movie adaptations from my point of view. And this thing has nothing to do with either. It's not even related to the New Line movies. So I don't know. Just like... I don't. It's like if you get a bad Sherlock Holmes movie, it doesn't ruin Sherlock Holmes for you. It's annoying that you got a bad Sherlock Holmes movie.
I think you make a great point there. It's not like DC, Marvel, Star Wars, where it's something that's continuing on, right?
Yeah.
That those stories were told, they're locked in, they're done. Anything else is fan fiction. Hell, I would say the same thing about Frank Herbert's Dune. I'm sorry, but everything that his son wrote, non-canon. It just is. Because so much of it doesn't even line up with what came before. So
he can look at the notes, but that just because you have the notes doesn't make you a good writer.
Exactly. So here's what I'm going to say too. That makes it even worse for the Tolkien estate. After Christopher died, it was all up for grabs. And they split the proverbial baby, and they just said, fuck it, we don't care, just give us money. Whereas Christopher was very, very, no, it's got to be exactly.
He was careful.
Didn't the one Tolkien kid that wanted to actually do it right was kicked out or something?
There was a Tolkien scholar, I think, that got kicked out on the staff, right? I don't know if any of the family was involved.
No, I mean like from the family thing.
Oh, I don't know.
That's what I heard.
Because I think the family, the rights in the family went,
they're not controlling them at this point. I think they get residuals.
And
be like be like the Peanuts. Be like the Peanuts family. They're doing good.
You mean like Charles
the one who Charlie Brown.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I know his wife was controlling it for a while. I guess she still is. Yeah.
From what I heard, that they're very
Oh yeah, no, they are very careful. They when 20th Century Fox made the Peanuts movie, and they had to be very careful with how they did it because they had to stay true to those characters. And it's funny because it was a big hit, and they were like, "Oh, when's the next one coming out?" Well. No. Maybe in 10, 20 years, because they're not going to allow them just to milk it. That was another thing. They couldn't just come out and do it. Now they're doing original things for Apple, which actually I'm back with an Apple now, so we'll see if they can do it.
Here we go. We got like a TV show or something, I think.
Yeah, it's a new Charlie Brown. They do new Charlie Brown shows, and I think they're accurate to comics and stuff, comic strip. But yeah, no, I don't know. I know Wheel of Time's been a disaster, and I actually understand when you have your favorite book series and it gets turned into a TV show, and there are always going to be compromises and changes, but I heard with Wheel of Time, it's been a running disaster. Completely.
It's not going to survive for very long.
Did they also do Shannara? Did they mess that up as well? The Sword of Shannara
I know that they did Shannara.
They did
Chronicles,
MTV did a series based on
that world. I remember seeing trailers years ago about it. And didn't watch it though.
That always happens, especially with a lot of these big. I'm terrified if they ever get their hands on a Lensman, what they might do to it. But I don't know.
Yeah. Isn't that the one that inspired Green Lantern?
In a way, it's funny when I saw Green Lantern First Flight, I always used to argue, Green Lantern is just ripping off Lensman. But when I saw Green Lantern First Flight, at least it's ripping it off well. That's what I saw. But no, it's very different though, because with in Green Lantern, we'll get to it when we get to First Flight, but I liked how the Guardians of Oa didn't want a human to get the ring. They were like, "What is this?" They were not too pleased with humans. Whereas in the Lensman universe, the humans are considered a very pivotal race in the conflict of good versus evil. The good alien race that's trying to fix things and go up against the evil alien race that's controlling the opposite thing. And the humans were very important in that conflict.
And then they go to the Guardians. Guardians like, who's this?
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on, guys.
Like
just a second. I just want to say hi to the Basco Scenario who stopped in. I dropped his link. And I do want to say, like, it's so awesome that we got deleted scenes to 100. Everybody is subscribing to everybody. I think there's something else that we can do for each other. Let's not only subscribe to each other, but tell your other friends, the other channels that you follow and whatnot, hey, do this. Do what we're doing. Share those links in your stream. Go see each other's streams. You'll get more subscriptions when you go by Troy, and Troy will get more subscriptions when he goes by Bosco, and Deleted Scenes when he does Deleted Scenes. You need to do more live streams, just saying. But, that's how we grow together.
You've been doing more.
Hey, Basco, I just subbed to you,
So subscribe to Netter too, and normally I would say the links are in the description, but this was free for all put together, so I don't have the links in the description right now. But that's what Deleted Scenes is doing. He's getting those up. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Matchstick. You were in the middle of saying something.
We were just talking about
what I was saying.
versus Lensman. But then I would want to get back to, has there been fallout with Amazon over Wheel of Time? Like, are people like not watching that series? Are they wanting it to end?
I don't know. I stopped paying attention to it and just dug my head in the ground. I don't want to know about that show.
The Jack Reacher series, I think, was good. I enjoyed it. And maybe
I approved the actor. I've actually read one of the books.
I think the child was involved in the series, so he maybe had final approval of what happened.
Alan Richardson is a good actor.
I think I understand. Okay, these film companies and whatnot taking these big IPs and wanting to, make these films. Why? Why would they do that? Well, they saw what Peter Jackson did with Lord of the Rings. They saw what HBO started to do with Game of Thrones, right? But actually, Game of Thrones is a perfect example of when it's good and when it's bad, right? If you're gonna do and really the high watermark is Peter Jackson on Lord of the Rings. If you're gonna do a thing, do it excellently. Do it so awesomely that everybody's talking about it, and it makes tons of money, and it's just this huge friggin' juggernaut. Okay, when you start cheaping out, when you start making side things, when you start making up your own fan fiction bullshit crap and cutting corners, you end up with the last season of Game of Thrones, and nobody gives a shit, and you literally lose the ability to make money from that franchise.
That was not HBO's fault, though, because from my understanding, HBO would have kept that show going for years.
I
don't think the actors wanted to leave either. I think they liked doing the show. I think it was mainly the showrunners, writers that were the main ones responsible for that.
You're absolutely 100% right, Agent Boomer. But
I think they allowed them to do it because they were okay. Well, these guys know what they're doing. We'll have to go with what they're doing, and then they found out.
They're like, what? All right, we're gonna go with it. We're gonna let it end when it's on a high note. Okay, wait, what the fuck are you doing? It's not on the high note. No, stop.
No. And see, this is the thing. You see it with Benioff and those
Weiss?
Guys.
Benioff and Weiss? Or, I don't know. Is that
no. I'm sorry. I meant D&D. The guys that did Game of Thrones.
Right.
Those two guys, whoever the fuck they are.
D&D.
I haven't seen them do anything else, and they're not going to get.
They were supposed to do a Star Wars trilogy, which
they're done. They're done. Right. I see it with Bad Robot. I see it with Kurtzman, okay? I see these people who go in to take over other people's intellectual property, saying, yeah, I could do this thing. And the first episode is big. The first season is big. It's whatever. And then people realize, oh, you're not really any good. You're just going through the motions of giving us regurgitation of someone else's work. And when you're left to your own devices, it fucking sucks. That's what it is. And these companies are starting to realize, we got to not only buy into this really well-beloved franchise, but we also got to make it good when we do something with it. The two go hand in hand. Otherwise, you're left holding an empty sack.
Benioff and Weiss, that must be the last names. D&D. D's are the first names, probably.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They probably both are first. That's probably where the D&D came from, and then people started saying Dumb and Dumber, and I don't know. Like I said, it was very strong series. I mean, it's not for everybody. I'm not saying Game of Thrones was for everybody, but it was the show of the last decade until it kind of went south last season. Yeah. But anyway. I'm trying to think what else is going on, though. I like I said, I know there's that rumor that Zaslav wants to figure out a way to resurrect Game of Thrones and bring back, kind of make the last season or two a Vision brand, and then maybe start over.
The reason here's the problem, though. Not only did Benioff and Weiss ruin Game of Thrones in its last couple seasons, but nobody is going to be able to come back and complete it because the fat man hasn't finished his books.
Well,
this would be like trying to write Lord of the Rings We got the first book, we got the second book, and we never got the third book. And then
in
he died.
HBO's defense, they probably figured those books would be finished by the time they got to that point on the
and
show.
You're right about that again. But again, whose fault it is?
I will attack
problem.
HBO, but I'm not attacking them here. I think that they...
No, you're absolutely right. But it doesn't matter whose fault it is. The reality is those stories don't exist. You could do even if Benioff and Weiss were brilliant writers and they had taken the notes and they'd come up with a brilliant 4 or 5 more seasons and told this epic story that was so really good, okay, it still wouldn't have necessarily been what the book readers have been waiting for to come from George Martin.
Yeah.
And we're never going to get those stories. It's never going to happen. He's not going to finish those books.
It's all going to end up turning into Elden Ring. I'm kidding. That's a joke because he helped write. He wrote the English version, the English script for Elden Ring. I'm just saying. Okay. And anyway, I'm just. That was for Matt's sake. Does Netter have a topic she wants to talk about?
Not really. I'm just listening to you guys.
That's fair. That's fair. She's just a pretty face.
Okay.
That's how I get all my subscriptions now. I say, look at my beautiful wife. We're celebrating our 30th anniversary. I'm a lucky guy, but you want me to take care of this beautiful woman? I need to get monetized, so help me out here.
I just appreciate all y'all jumping in very last minute.
Yeah.
To join us on the stream. Because we're running later than Geeky Geezers normally is.
Oh yeah, so I didn't
we had
realize
a really
that.
good reason why.
Yeah.
But y'all still stopped your day to come here and spend this time with us, and I just really appreciate that.
Listen to us ranting about the things we don't like and stuff. Yeah, we are coming though to the 2-hour mark, and that's another thing about not being monetized is that I have a limited amount of time on StreamYard, guys. So I gotta budget my time. You want more of this? We're gonna need some money. We're gonna need to get monetized.
Yeah.
So help me get those subs. Share out the streams, hit the like buttons, drop a comment tomorrow, even if you were here, because it's all engagement that helps the
thumbs up,
algorithms. Yeah, all of that kind of
stuff. And some other news for some stuff I'm interested in. Gotham Knights seems to be finally kicking up its marketing.
Yeah, you've been dropping a lot of links about that in the MeWe group.
I think it's... Yeah.
It looks good. In fact, maybe we'll even be talking some more about that on Tuesday, too. You know what? Let me do that. Let me go through the week. So the next thing that I know about is on Tuesday, Mr. Matchstick's channel. Subscribe to him and come listen to us on Tuesday. I mean us, because it'll be Mr. Matchstick, myself, Aged Boomer down here. Aged Boomer, kind of like, let me get the point right there. Aged Boomer. We will be over on Mr. Matchstick talking about the animated series first season of Legion of the Superheroes. We watched it. I've got some thoughts, mostly positive. I got a few negs, but,
He made me watch it.
Okay.
Oh, come on. You liked it.
I did like it.
See?
There you
He
go.
made me watch it, but I liked it.
Yeah. So that's Tuesday. Wednesday, is there anything going on Soundtracks with Birdman, Aged Boomer?
Rambo rewatch, First Blood Part 2. So look forward to that.
Ooh, yes. Good stuff. Got them all on DVD.
Those are good movies, yeah.
Yep.
Friday?
Let's see. Usually nothing on Thursday, but Friday, come back to this channel on Friday night. I will have another special guest. Fanscene is coming to talk with us about his channel, and I'm going to ask you all to subscribe to him. But we are going to be talking about owning physical media. Like I just said, I have all the Rambo movies. You can see right behind Netter. She's got, that's a good portion of, that's about 4/6 of our subscription.
There's the rest.
Yeah.
Wow.
So those are all of our and they all go to the floor too. So there's some out of screen that you don't see.
Yeah, well, you can't
awesome.
Yeah, you can't see nothing there. But own physical media, and we'll be talking about why that is so important with Fanzine. Saturday night over on Big Al Presents. What were we watching on Big Al Presents? I forgot now.
No, wait a minute. I remember. It was Rampage.
Oh, right, Rampage. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, video game movie that was actually pretty good.
I liked
Considering
it.
that
Yeah.
considering that it's a video game that did we just lose Mr. Matchstick?
Maybe we did, but if
Okay.
we did, good night, Mr. Matchstick.
Oh, there he
he's
is.
back. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I was gonna say. Oops. Add the
Well,
stream.
we're
There we
winding it
go.
down anyway.
Okay. Yeah, Rampage, actually a good movie about a video game. A video game that doesn't really have that much story. So the fact that they were able to do a film about it, they actually did a pretty darn good job.
Usually the stuff for good video games is in TV, like Castlevania and stuff like that.
Right.
There you go. And that's going to bring us around to next Sunday, where we will be back on Age of Boomers channel with our regularly scheduled Geeky Geezers, where we'll get to all the news that we missed this week, and
well,
whatever comes up throughout this
Batgirl.
week.
We'll skip Batgirl
Yeah.
unless there's additional stuff during the week about it. Maybe.
That's fair.
Well,
Okay.
we're
Thanks,
still
Deleted Scenes, for getting that one for me. That's Deleted Scenes just dropped the link to the YouTuber I will be interviewing on Friday. Go ahead and subscribe to him right now and tell him I sent you. You know, go like his most recent video and say, I came and I subscribed because Troy sent me, so that he knows I'm doing a good job. Okay. Let me go around. In a clockwise fashion. Ned, or any last words?
You know, as I always say, we can talk amongst ourselves, and it's all well and good, but it's so much more fun when you guys are here with us. Drop in your comments, your questions, your trivia, what have you, because you're not just friends to us, you're family too. We love you guys. Thanks for being here.
Definitely spend more time with y'all than I do with my family. So there's that. Age of Boomer.
Nothing. Fun hanging with you guys tonight, and it was an impromptu stream. I will be back next Sunday with Geeky Geezers on my channel, and look for me throughout the week on these other channels, Mr. Matchsticks and Troy's on Friday. Take care.
Yep, and we'll be, we'll get back to the more professional Geeky Geezers.
It doesn't hurt to do a loose one once and then again.
It was kind of fun though.
Yeah.
And Mr. Matchstick, last words.
long live the Legion.
There you go.
Long live the Legion. There you go. And if you run out of superpowers, you always got that flight ring, right? All right, guys. Thanks so much for stopping by. You guys really are awesome. Every single one of you. Subscribe to each other, because that's what really makes this community really makes us work. All right, everyone. You take care. Have a great one. Catch you on the next one.
Good night, ladies.
Good night, sir.
Hit it, sweetheart.